Welcome back to the show. Coming up next, my segment, Friends and Neighbors. I'm going to be interviewing a lot of my friends. I'm going to make some new friends, and I might even have a neighbor or two on. This week, we're going to talk to Brent Thompson. We just finished up the annual chamber banquet, so let's check it out and see what Brent's got to say about this year's event. Brent Thompson, thanks for coming in today and visiting with me. New year,
New year,
new happenings.
brand new.
Well, you know, the first thing I've got to talk about is just recently we had the chamber banquet.
We certainly did.
So you look rested,
Thank you. I wish I felt that way.
but you appear rested. Well, let's talk about the chamber banquet. As always, just a fabulous banquet put together. So I thank you for all the hard work, you and volunteers that made that possible. But you know, the exciting part of that always seems to me anyway to be who gets what. It's kind of like a Oscars of sorts in a way. I think everybody looks forward to that.
Well, I hope so. That's kind of the principal thing that we do at the banquet is, the whole thing really culminates around the fact that we're going to celebrate the end of one year and establish the beginning of a new one,
Yes.
and with that comes the awards.
Well, let's go top dog first.
Okay.
Let's talk about who got that award this year for.
The Cushing Lifetime Achievement
Yes,
Award.
I wanted to make sure that was said correctly because I've got all of these different awards in my head right now that I'm excited to talk about. But yes, I'll let you bust that out here.
Well, our 2013 Cushing Lifetime Achievement Award winners this year were Bill Senior and Vera Candler. They are, as always, every year, we manage to come up with some people that are so deserving of that award. And the Candlers are no different than the ones in the past. Very deserving, good recipients, have been solid people, business people in our business community, have done tremendous things, and not just in the chamber, but Bill was also a member of the school board. They're very actively involved in their church. Just good, solid, all around people.
Well, I know it's got to be a very hard decision when it comes to deciding who's going to receive that, but I really feel like that honor went to a very deserving couple.
We feel the same way, as we have felt every year. You know, I tell a lot of people, not only in Cushing but around, that we are so blessed in this community to have the kinds of people, the types of people that we have here in Cushing. A community is no better or no worse than the people who live here. I mean,
Yes.
that is the backbone of a community, and we're truly blessed to have the kinds of people who not only run a good business and who are God-fearing people, but they also are so committed to this community to make sure that it's a good community to live and work and raise a family. And the Candlers are just another good example of that.
They certainly are. The Candlers stand out in my mind being raised here in Cushing, and it just was really a thrill for me to see them get this award. And I know a lot of people out there that grew up in Cushing, still remain in Cushing, remember the days of the first Bill's Easy Out opening, the double bicycle rentals and all of that, and how neat to see a couple that have had such a solid business moving into even furthering that by going across the street and then opening a second location. How wonderful to see such a hard working family receive that award.
Well, and they have now 3 generations of Candlers who are still in this community and are still working, owning businesses.
Yes.
Besides himself, Bill Jr., who we relied on heavily to help us
I'm sure you did.
pull this off, as well as Chance and his brothers, and then you're talking about grandchildren and great grandchildren, and So they have been an integral part of this community for a long time.
And the whole town wouldn't have near the ice if it wasn't for the Candler family,
I guess that's true.
especially in the hot summertime.
You can get pop and ice and everything just
Absolutely.
from one
absolutely.
family.
The ice company has been an asset, I do think, to the
Oh, absolutely.
community as well. Well, let's move on a little bit from that and talk about the other recognitions that were given out at the banquet.
Well, our volunteer of the year this year was Larry Brewer with Matrix Service. Larry has been my go-to guy for the last, well, soon to be 4 years as chairman of Barbecue and Blues. And there's nobody who works any harder than that guy does. I don't know what I'd do without him, frankly. He's just so dependable. He's been around long enough. He knows the ins and outs of that festival, and he doesn't have to come to me and say, what do we need to do? He just does it, and it's always done right. So,
Well, he's always there to help, to ask what needs to be done. I've noted that in meetings that I've attended with chamber business and that type thing, committees, meetings, that type thing. So I think that was a great choice for volunteer.
well,
of the year.
and you know, Matrix was also a
Yes.
gold table sponsor at the banquet. I mean, they're always there for you, and Larry's always. You know, the amazing thing about that is we meet at 7 o'clock in the morning for the board on the third Thursday. He is very consistent about being there. But the part of that people don't realize is that he drives in for board meeting at 7 o'clock from Broken Arrow.
Wow.
So, you know, he makes more of a commitment than a lot of us do, and you know, I'm so appreciative of what he does for us. But then, business of the year, I was
always
really
a big
excited
one.
about Fechner Pump and Supply.
Oh gosh, what a selection there.
It is. John Fechner is the salt of the world.
Yes,
And
he is.
you know, they have very, very astute business person, a solid community leader. It's just like the Candlers. I mean,
Right.
it just goes on and on with the kinds of people we have in this community, and certainly, no matter who you mention in terms of being good Cushingites,
Yes,
you've got to mention John Fechner.
absolutely. I totally agree with that. I had something I was going to say and it just kind of left my mind just as I was getting ready to say it. I know that Fechner's has been a large part of the community. They've always been a player. Also, John is a Lion. I want to kind of pull my plug in for the Lions Club there with John.
Well, and that shows you the type of person that he is. I
Yeah.
mean, they are good chamber members. You know, they sponsor. They help us sponsor Barbecue and Blues Festival in the Park. They were a gold table sponsor at the banquet. I mean, anytime you go to John Fechner, if it's worthwhile, he's going to help you.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I can't say enough about our award winners.
And we had a changing of the guard in a sense from one president to a new one.
Sure did. Outgoing was Linda Lee from 2013, who has done a magnificent job. So easy to work with. She's just, as far as I'm concerned, she was a great president. And you know, we've got a new one now, Megan Crumpton, who is just starting, going to earn her spurs this year.
Certainly so.
So, but Megan this past year has been extremely active, and that's why, frankly, I mean, was her first year on the board. So to jump from
Wow.
the first year to president will tell you what kind of activity level she's had in our chamber. So I'm excited about working with Megan.
Absolutely. Well, Megan's just a great gal. She really is. She has a great personality. She has that cute little, I like to think of it as a little bit of an ornery smile. Just a little bit. So I think she'll bring some elements to the chamber that are pretty youthful, actually, with her age.
We're in that respect, we're pretty lucky. I mean, we are a pretty young board
Yeah.
of directors, and we've got some young lions. I've never had that opportunity until I came here It's always been us old guys, and so particularly last 2 years, you know, our age has gotten younger on the board, and it's created a whole different atmosphere in our board meetings, which I like. You know, they want to see this community grow and be even better than it is today, and
Right.
it's nice having some young lions around.
Anything else you want to say about the banquet? The food was good as always.
Good turnout, good food. Chris always does a great job. You know, I want to thank them. I want to thank you all for what you did in terms of the sound system and recording it. Mayflowers of Cushing provided the floral arrangements for the tables and
Beautiful.
centerpieces. There's just so many people to thank that I'm going to miss one, but to all of them,
Yes.
I want to say thank you so much for everything you've done. It turned out to be a great banquet, and you know we'll do it again next year.
Well, I want to move on just a little bit before I let you go and say probably next up, legislative luncheon might have a little bit of a focus. That's getting ready to start up. So you'll have to come back and talk to me about that.
We can do that.
Okay.
Just give me a
When is
holler.
the first legislative luncheon for folks out there?
It's
needing
the
to know?
last Friday in January. I don't
last
remember the
Friday.
date, but it's the last Friday at noon out at the country club.
Okay, fabulous. Well, you'll get back with me. We'll talk about that after we get through one of those luncheons as well and other things. It's 2014. All right.
Okay?
Again, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Bill Candler, recipients of this year's Chamber Lifetime Achievement Awards. Stay with me for more Donna and Friends.